Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. As we finish 1 John and then we also read 2nd and 3rd John, we can really boil down what the Apostle John is saying to basically two things. Two things that he was very concerned about and had a great priority in his writings. And that is truth and love. Truth and love. An example of this would be in 3rd John, in verse 4, where he says, I have no greater joy than this, to hear that my children are walking in the truth. And then in 2nd John, he talks about truth at the beginning of the letter. And then he goes on to say in verse 5, Now I ask you, lady, not as though I were writing to you a new commandment, but the one which we have had from the beginning, that we love one another. And so, time and time again, both in 1 John, 2 John, and 3 John, the emphasis is on truth and on love. And when it comes to the spiritual life, these ought to be two things that are high on our priority list. We need to make sure that we are walking in the truth, that the things that we believe are in line with the things that God has revealed. And of course, we do this by getting into the Word and prayerfully reading God's Word. But then also we need to remember that we are to love others and to remember other people in their distress and to help them when they come across hardships and difficulties, and to just love people in general and to be kind and generous and loving to everyone that we come into contact with. And these two things, if we can have these two things, we'll be very far along in the spiritual life. If we are upholding truth, but at the same time, exercising love. And unfortunately, sometimes these two things are sometimes excluded from one to the other. In other words, some very much emphasize truth, and they very much are knowledgeable of the Word. They understand the Scriptures. They're very intent on getting their doctrine right. But in doing so, then they're very unloving to others. And they use the knowledge that they have to be prideful and to look condescendingly on other people who may not have that kind of knowledge. And they are very unloving in the way that they handle the truth. But at the same time, on the other side, there are those who are so loving that they don't even regard the truth, that they think that truth isn't that important as long as we all can just get along. There's no truth needed, that love basically puts away truth and makes truth obsolete. And of course, that would be wrong as well. But a good balanced spiritual life is going to be one that is focused on truth, that is getting our doctrine right, but at the same time maintaining love and loving others, not using the truth to injure people or to damage relationships or to cause injury, but using the truth in a loving way, in a kind way, in a way that builds up and helps and can encourages other people and can point people in the right way, but in a loving way. And so hopefully we can have this balance in our lives to where both of these things become a priority in our lives, not one excluding the other and one having priority over the other, but that both will be emphasized in our lives, and we will try to exercise and to focus on these things each and every day as we walk before the Lord. So as we get closer and closer to the end of this year, and we get closer and closer to the end of our reading through the Bible, let's be focused on, yes, gaining all the truth that perhaps we've come across over the year, and gathering that in and reflecting on that and soaking it in, but at the same time letting that truth then be expressed in love for others and having open hands and open hearts towards others and caring for them, loving for them, and treating them in a kind way. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.